Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMGWTF, LOL, FTWBRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001. More importantly, we are booking the Invasion angle, and tonight we will be running Unforgiven, the pay-per-view for the month of September. It's going to be great. I have a feeling that our main event might just be our best match we've ever booked. I'm just going to say it. Before we can get to that, though, we are on the history screen here because I'm not going to be able to upload Sunday Night Heat. When I was rendering, saving, whatever you want to call it, the file for Sunday Night Heat, not into YouTube, but into a file format or a video format for YouTube to recognize so I can upload it there, my computer froze and I had to force shut it down, thus losing the Sunday Night Heat file. And, so we're not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to show you guys Sunday Night Heat, basically, because I lost the video, but I can still show you what happened on Sunday Night Heat. And, so Dean Malenko defeated Jerry Lynn to open up the night in a 69 rating match. We then had Gregory Helms cut a promo on Spike Dudley, which got a 54. Head Chop officially becomes a tag team, which got a 48 rating. They went on to defeat Alex Wright, Das Wonder Kid, and Disco Inferno with a 58 rating. Paul Heyman then just hypes up Team ECW with a pay-per-view crossover angle with a 63. Spike then tells Molly it's probably best for her to stay back in tonight's match because, she could be used against him pretty much. That got a 55. We then go to the main event, which got a 53. Gregory Helms defeats Spike Dudley after Molly Holly comes down because the referee was knocked down and Gregory was looking to take full advantage of it and take Spike down. Molly comes to protect her boyfriend. That just leads to pretty much Spike getting a little distracted and Gregory rolling him up for the 1-2-3, grabbing the tights. Then we ended off the show with Edge and Christian going to Mick Foley's office and lobbying for the United States Championship match at Unforgiven tonight. Instead of it being a one-on-one match between Edge and Benoit, it'd be a triple threat match between Edge, Benoit, and Christian, since Edge not only beat Benoit in Hell in a Cell on Monday Night Raw for the United States title, but Christian already beat him on Thursday Night Nitro as well. So, of course, Mick Foley, not a fan of any of the competitors, besides, of course, Edge and Christian. And being, close friends with Edge and Christian, he goes on to agree and officially make the match a triple threat match for the pay-per-view. So now that we got Sunday Night Heat out of the way, let's go ahead and start the pay-per-view. We have a total of 2 pre-show matches. Tonight, the pre-show commentary table, by the way, is being called by a mixture of Mike Tenay, Bobby Heenan, and Taz or Michael Cole. This time it's Taz because Sandman is in it. This didn't do too bad. 59 solid C rating in a pre-show match that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. Rikishi goes on to defeat Sandman. Of course, remember, Sandman's written off TV, but I'm trying to test him to see if we're in Hawaii tonight. Nice place to hold Unforgiven, I guess. Whatever. Sandman, of course, I'm trying to test him, see if he can, finally get off the booze a little bit, or if he's still going to be getting drunk. We're going to have to cut him off, and send him to rehab. Sandman, of course, still following with the disqualification. There are rules, and he just doesn't understand them. Brings out that Singapore cane and decks Rikishi with it. Of course, Rikishi being an upper mid-carder, so I had to get him on the pay-per-view somehow. Rikishi goes over Sandman because of the disqualification. Sandman was off his game, but he and Rikishi have great chemistry, so that's impressive. And another thing here, Mike Tenay and Taz have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together, so, interesting. I never planned on using Taz and Mike Tenay, but we might have to. Then again, when we think about it, Mike Tenay and Taz were the color commentators for TNA for a while, so that's probably why the person put it in there. I didn't even think about that. WWE did it first, or WWF, I should say. I'm still surprised to see Rikishi and Sandman having great chemistry with each other. Rikishi had the in-ring performance of a 70, Sandman with a 44. Let's see if he was drunk. No! There you go, Sandman. Good for you. Oh no. Uh-oh. this may force me to rewrite a whole chunk of my plans here, nerds and geeks. Either way, we go into the main event of the pre-show, which gets a 74 B-. Raven and the Hardy Boys going over Lance Storm, Canyon, and Hugh Morris in 12 minutes, 17 seconds when Raven defeats Morris with the pile driver. Raven, unfortunately, though, sustaining a damaged neck. Now, I'm not sure what that means. It could just be, something simple. We'll have to find out after the show, but that could make me rewrite a whole bunch of stuff that I just didn't even plan for. Matt and Jeff both with the 79 in-ring performance. Raven with the 76. Hugh Morris with a 68, so he was the worst here. Canyon with the 76, and Lance Storm with the 76. So both Hardys were superior here tonight. Hugh Morris is improving in performance, and Matt is improving in performance as well. Yes, Brooklyn Brawler, we do know Raven sustained that damaged neck. Hopefully it's nothing bad. We go up to the opening segment, or we move on, I should say, to the opening segment of Unforgiven, opening up the pay-per-view. We start off with a solid A rating here, getting a 90 rating. Edge and Christian, they come out to the ring. The announcer puts it over as the following, is for the United States Championship, and it's a triple threat match. Introducing first, Edge and Christian pretty much. The announcers are confused. They're like, triple threat match? What are you talking about? Flair, of course, that leads to Flair coming out alongside with Benoit and Regal. Not Flair coming out alongside. I should say Regal coming out alongside with Flair and Benoit. And Regal is just like, what the hell is this, Sunshine? Triple threat? No, this is a one-on-one match between that scoundrel Edge and Mr. Chris Benoit. And then Edge takes the mic and he says, well, you mustn't have heard the news, Sunshine. You see, right before the show started on Heat, Chris and I asked Commissioner Foley if he could change it to a three-way match, since me and him already beat Chris Benoit. And then Regal just moves on. He says, no. I didn't approve of this. That is a sanctioned WCW title, and only I can make matches for it. That's when Commissioner Foley's music hits, and out he comes, and he says, now wait a minute. What makes you think you can overrule my authority? I don't give a damn if it's a WCW title. That's a WWF superstar, and I make the matches. We don't tell you when Lance Storm has to defend the WWF European Championship. Oh yeah, you can call it the WCW Canadian title all you want, but that doesn't make it that. And then, of course, I couldn't continue it on. I didn't feel like writing anything out. Foley continues on, saying, since it seems like we're split in half here, my authority overrules you since I've been in authority a lot longer than you. So, I can already tell you right now, this is only going to go two ways. Either you agree with me, or we have this match either way, because I'll let you know, I don't like you, Regal, after you broke my jaw. I have never liked you, Ric Flair. And Benoit, I'm just disappointed in you. So either way, whether you like it or not, this is going to be a triple threat match tonight. And there you go. I kind of suck there because I chose not to write the rest of it out. But either way, it is indeed going to be a triple threat match. We saw, or we didn't see it on Heat, but I pointed it out to you guys on Heat. It is officially confirmed on the pay-per-view for those who missed Heat. It got the show off to a strong start. Crowd got hot for this. Christian was unfortunately underwhelming, as was Regal, but Foley looked good. We then move on to the opening match, which is a triple threat match for the United States Championship. It's a pretty underwhelming grade here, I won't lie. B-, I was hoping for at least a B. Either way, we get a B- that gets a 74 rating, and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Edge goes on to defeat Chris Benoit and Christian, when Edge defeats Christian by pinfall with the quick cradle, making his first defense of the United States Championship. Benoit carrying the match in terms of in-ring performance, and there you have it. Edge retains the championship, doesn't pin Chris Benoit, gets the victory over Christian the way I'd imagine it happening. Christian maybe hitting the unprettier or maybe a spear on Benoit after Benoit was locking Edge in the crippler crossface or something. And Christian then goes maybe for the victory, goes for the pin. But Edge, still down, but quickly rolls him up for the quick cradle, and that ends up winning him the match. And retaining the championship. I was thinking about having Christian officially turn heel after this match. Well, he's already officially a heel. He's never, we never turned him face. But I was having him officially turn on Edge. But I think I'm going to hold it off just a little while longer. Did get the crowd hotter though, so that's awesome. Edge with an 80, Benoit with a 91, hell yes, and Christian with a 77. No worker improvements though. We then move on to the next segment of the night, which gets a solid C with a 64 rating. Trish Stratus, she's walking towards her locker room, of course, maybe TNA's as well. That's when she's approached by the WCW Commissioner, Lord Steven Regal, and Steven Regal's like, well, tonight's the night, isn't it? The night that WCW's power plant disposes of those two scoundrels, Test and Albert, and walk away the new WWF Tag Team Champions. You know, Trish, do you own any clothes that, I don't know, are less revealing? It's bad enough you named your team TNA, but do you have to show it too? Of course, Trish just smiles, obviously a little upset by that, but not going to let it get to her, and just smacks Regal across the face, and then walks into her locker room, and while Regal just kind of stands there, getting that little pissed off look in his face, adding, I guess not adding heat, because apparently it lost heat for the feud, but adding a little bit more heat onto the match we're going to see of the night between Power Plant and Tess and Albert. We then follow up with our next match of the night, which gets a not too shabby, I won't lie. Was a little worried putting both these two in the match because they're not entirely over, but we get a solid C rating with a 65 rating. Originally this was going to be a three-way, but we had to change it since Sabu injured Rey Mysterio. And about that, a decent wrestling but little heat, WCW's Billy Kidman goes on to defeat ECW's Chavo Guerrero Jr. with the Shooting Star Press in 10 minutes, 10 seconds, winning the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Billy Kidman with a 63, Chavo with the fixed 56, and Kidman now becomes the Cruiserweight Champion, earning it like he wanted to. We follow up with another segment. This surprisingly didn't... This is a little disappointing, I won't lie. 69, C+. Did Mean Gene really bring it down this bad? Or was it Tommy too? It's interesting. Either way, Mean Gene's backstage. He's interviewing Diamond Dallas Page, and he says, "All right, fans, with me at this time, it's the WCW People's Champion, Diamond Dallas Page." And that's when DDP enters the shot with a big smile on his face, just like he has in his picture. And Gene continues going on, saying, "Diamond, tonight, you requested a match against ECW's Tommy Dreamer," but Page cuts him off, and he says, "Let me stop you there, Mean Gene. You're right, I did request a match. But not only because he cost me my title shot, but because just like The Rock, he lacks creativity. You see, Tommy decided after one day after seeing DDP in the ring that he wanted to be just like me. I mean, who can blame him, Gene? But instead of using me as an inspiration like The Rock did, Dreamer tried to take my idea and play it off as his own, twisting the words just a little bit to make it seem like it wasn't the same. You see, he calls himself the heart and soul of ECW, which is basically the same thing as being the People's Champion. So tonight, I'm going to take that heart and I'm going to throw it on the ground and I'm going to crush it under my boot. And as for that soul, well, once I crush his heart, let's just say ECW won't have a soul anymore." And then Page walks off and, pretty much just hinting at, not hinting, but adding, I guess not adding again, but losing heat for the DDP Tommy Dreamer match we'll see later on tonight. Gene Okerlund was underwhelming, which, there you have it. DDP was fantastic, but why did this do so? I don't know. I'm just going to have to blame Mean Gene. I don't know why it would do so bad. Wow, this did pretty good, though. Solid B rating with an 82 rating, Nerds and Geeks. In a decent match, Test and Albert, TNA, go on to retain the Tag Team Championships over Power Plant in 12 minutes, 46 seconds after Test defeats Sean Stasiak with a running big boot. We had a lot of interference here, but not necessarily. It's just, Trish and Regal playing their parts. Trish, of course, distracting both Jindrak and Stasiak throughout the match. Regal distracting both Albert and Test throughout the match. I'd imagine maybe because they kind of bickered back and forth with each other. Either way, TNA make their third defense of the Tag Team Championships. Regal did good work ringside. Not enough selling shown, unfortunately. Albert with a 78, Test with an 82, so he probably had the best in-ring performance, and both Jindrak and Stasiak with a 60 rating. Also, Test is improving in technical. Not too shabby. Moving on to our next segment, we get a 70 C+ rating here. This is just a freestyle segment because I figured I can just tell you guys what happened here. Simmons and Sabu are brawling backstage. Of course, Ron Simmons has gotten a little notorious for this, pretty much just using the advantage of the hardcore title being 24/7 and going to attack Sabu backstage. But unfortunately for Ron Simmons, Sabu isn't like all these other guys he attacks backstage. He's from ECW, and the backstage arena, backstage brawl pretty much fits his style. The two brawl backstage, smashing each other through tables, hitting each other with, random pipes laying around, throwing chairs at each other, all that fun stuff. Eventually it ends when Sabu runs off a chair and DDTs Ron Simmons onto the ground, which could be a little dangerous, but he does it anyway. Hopefully Ron Simmons got his hands up in time. Ron Simmons gets knocked out. Sabu covers him. 1, 2, 3. Retains the Hardcore Championship. I can't necessarily put that here, but still, he retains it. So technically that's a defense, but I can't really highlight it. Ron Simmons came across well. Sabu was underwhelming, unfortunately, but there you have it. Sabu and Ron Simmons continuing on without actually having a match. We then lead into our Tommy Dreamer DDP match. That gets us a 72 B-, and a decent match here. Diamond Dallas Page does go on to defeat Tommy Dreamer in 10 minutes and 4 seconds with the Diamond Cutter. Unfortunately here, DDP and Tommy Dreamer just don't click, and it's made for an awkward bout, so that's a little upsetting, but whatever. DDP with a 75, Dreamer with a 50. Not too shabby on both their parts. Still a little upsetting that they didn't click, but makes you wonder how this would have done if they did. But a 72 B- is just about where I expected this match to be. We then move on to a 73 B-. Stacy Keibler, she's backstage. She's hyping up Chuck Palumbo for his upcoming match against Kurt Angle tonight. And she says, "All right, Chuck, tonight we go out there and we show everyone that Kurt's victory over you in the King of the Ring was just luck. Tonight we go out there and show everyone exactly how tough Chuck Palumbo is. Tonight we get to show everyone exactly why Chuck Palumbo is a future world champion. And Kurt Angle is just the first step to an even better future. Now let's go break his freaking neck." And that leads us, well, doesn't lead us into it, but, hyping up the upcoming match pretty much. We lead into our next match, the next tag team title match. This did better and still good. 79 B rating here, a solid B. And about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Steiner brothers do go on to defeat the Dudley Boyz when Scott Steiner defeats Devon Dudley with the Steiner device, making their second defense of the WCW World titles, or World Tag Team titles, I should say. Scott still carrying the matches as he normally does. Both teams have excellent chemistry together. Not enough selling shown, not enough psychology. Either way, though, Rick with the 78, Scott with the 99, Devon with an 82, and Bubba with an 82. Good on you guys. Scott Steiner also improving in Rumble. Good on you. I believe this might have been our Wild Brawl match of the night. Scott was sustained, or, suited for the right type. So was Bubba. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Satisfied with that. We move on to our next segment. Pretty short segment here. Another freestyle segment because it doesn't, literally the tag explains it right there. Michael Cole goes on to try to interview the Undertaker. Taker has no time for his interview. Just drives off on his bike and then accidentally runs over his foot in the process. 80B. Can't complain. Lead into our next match, which gets us an impressive, solid 77 B rating here. And about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Chuck Palumbo gets the surprise victory. No submission. Ignore that by pinfall with something. Well, we don't know what he does. Maybe he debuted a new thing. We'll say the full throttle. My buddy Chris is not going to be happy about this. Power bomb. That's the name of his finisher. So either way, pinfall after hitting the full throttle power bomb after a distraction from Stacy Keibler. So imagine Kurt has Chuck locked in the angle lock. Chuck's tapping out, but Stacy's distracting the referee. Whoever the hell the referee is, distracting referee. Charles Robinson, Little Nate, distracting Little Nate. Little Nate, of course, hey, what's up, Stacy? Kurt, eventually, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Turns around, gets the full hit with the full throttle power bomb. 1, 2, 3, and Chuck Palumbo beats Kurt Angle in front of 21,000 people in Hawaii. Kurt with an 88, Chuck with a 74, and there you have it right there, Nerds and Geeks. Palumbo also improving in performance. Let's check out the dirt sheet real quick. I want to look at Chuck Palumbo. He got protected, so we had Kurt make him look as good as possible. I believe I got to keep Kurt strong, though, which is okay. Good match, guys. Wow. Good grade. A-star rating here, 100 rating, perfect score. Undertaker and Giants video package, setting up for the next match, of course, which is the Hell in a Cell match between the Undertaker and Giant, which gets us a hell yes, solid A rating between the two, 93 match, or 93 rating, and an exceptional match. The Undertaker goes on to defeat the Giant in the Hell in a Cell match in 20 minutes, 7 seconds, with the last ride. There you go, Chris. He managed to do it. So, I guess the big spot here would be Giant getting the last ride off the top turnbuckle or something, because I can't imagine the Undertaker hitting the last ride on the Giant normally, but I would, as we see, Undertaker did take a crazy bump through this match, so I'd imagine Giant does follow up on his words and words, not worlds, but words, and possibly hitting the choke slam and Taker going through the cage down there, but still kicking out. Giant's just like, how is this possible? And then that's when he goes like to the top rope to hit like to hit a splash or something, you know, like the one where he drags them towards the corner and then like goes up backwards and like kind of like King Kong Bundy style like splash, but Taker stands up and gets in between him and hits the last ride, getting the victory over here. Unfortunately, not enough selling, which my buddy Chris called it, and Taker did take the crazy bump. Giant with the 94, Taker with the 94, or 92, excuse me, Giant with the 92, Taker with the 94. Good match, guys. Giant improving in flying skills. Okay. I guess it does fit the ending in a way then. 90, good job, guys. We then follow up for our semi-main event of the night. Gets us a 76, right? Is already 75. No, that's a 76. 76 B-, just the Booker T RVD rivalry package. I'd imagine this, not only highlight. I had Paul Heyman and Shane McMahon also in this, but I'd imagine it being highlighted kind of with the ECW invasion just in general, and then kind of showing old video package, or old, videos of RVD's highlights from all his matches in ECW, kind of hyping him up. There you go for that. That leads us into our next segment of the night, which gets good on you guys. I was a little worried about this match, but seeing you guys get an 83 B+, semi-main event, not too bad, 83 B+, in a decent match. Booker T does indeed go on to defeat RVD. RVD puts on a great match, but just can't beat Booker. Booker T wins with the scissors kick, making his 6th defense of the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Shane McMahon did good work ringside. Booker was off his game, unfortunately, but Booker had a 91 in-ring performance, and RVD with the 62, so good on you guys. Gained heat as well. RVD, I believe, was protected. This was a storytelling match of the night as well, so we had RVD get protected. That way, he can look as good as possible, although he didn't get the plus for it, so I'm not sure if Booker did a good job or not. Still good on you guys. Not too bad. And then our main event is coming up. We have another rivalry package here, just highlighting Austin, Triple H, Rock, and Jericho's rivalry with each other. Another 100 rating. We move on to the match. Let's see how we do. Yes. That's disappointing. How? How did this... on the match. What were the negatives? Booking decisions. What did I do? Already on emotional high, I had things in between it. How did the RVD match do better than this? That is, I'm freaking pissed. This should have done so much better. This had Austin, Rock, Triple H, and Jericho. How did this do this bad? I mean, this isn't like bad, but I was honestly expecting a perfect match. It got a I'm pretty pissed. I had to keep Austin protected because he didn't want to go under, but I, I don't know if that had something to do with it. I've been told that interferences really don't do much to it. I had them call it in the ring because they all can do it. I don't know if the spectacle did it, but I don't understand how it's already been done to an emotional high. Like, whatever. That's that's surprising. This is upsetting me. Wow. And about that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. The Rock goes on to defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and Chris Jericho when Rock beats Jericho with the People's Elbow, not the Rock Bottom. Believe what you want, but I already have my own finish set up for this match. People's Elbow. You also had Rhino, toss Triple H's again. Rock becomes the World Heavyweight Champion. There you have it. Rock keeps his promise, said he was going to walk out as champion. He did. I don't know why this just... I'm still pretty mad. It did get the crowd buzzing. I don't know why it did so. Either way, the way I'd imagine this finishing happening is Austin goes for the stunner on the Rock. Rock, though, pushes him off. Jericho hits the code breaker for the first time. Not like we're calling it that, but he hits it for the first time on Stone Cold Steve Austin. And, hold on real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Someone came inside. I had to answer a question. Either way, like I was saying, pretty much what I'd imagine happening is Austin gets pushed off after trying to hit the stunner on Rock. Jericho hits the code breaker. Triple H then hits the pedigree. And that's when Rhino comes in, hits the gore on Triple H. Of course, this being a fatal four-way, there's not really any DQ, so you can't affect it. Rhino hits the gore on Triple H, taking him out of the ring. And Jericho goes for the pin on Rock. Goes for the pin on Stone Cold. Rock and Jericho kind of get in each other's face. They're starting to exchange words. Jericho pushes the Rock, and he tries to do the just bring it thing to Rock, but that kind of backfires on him. And Rock hits the Rock Bottom on Chris Jericho, laying him out in the ring. Meanwhile, during all this time, Rhino has managed to pull Stone Cold out of the ring by his ankle. So Jericho gets the Rock Bottom. Rock's starting to set up for the People's Elbow on Jericho. He bounces off the rope. Rhino comes running in at the Rock while he's going for the People's Elbow, while the Rock tosses him over the ropes, continues running, and then hits the People's Elbow on Chris Jericho, pins him for the 1-2-3, and becomes the new WWF World Champion for the record-setting 7-time. Austin with the 100 rating, Rock with a 98, Triple H with a 95, Jericho with a 94. I'm still pretty mad about the rating about this match. Austin is improving in technical, and Triple H is improving in technical. No, we're not yet. That's upsetting. That is definitely upsetting. I expected this to be a lot better than it did. That main event definitely brought it down. I'm going to have to give Giant and Undertaker the speech. I thought I was going to have to give it to Rock and all of them, but nope. So it did increase our popularity in 5 regions. I'm going to go ahead and give speeches to The Undertaker. I'm going to point the Dead Man out as a good example. And I'm going to point the Giant out as a good example. Because look at that match they did. I also think I'm going to... What was the second best match of the night? Because it certainly wasn't the main event. I want to say it's the semi-main. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it was. Part of me wants to give it to RVD. Just tell him, hey, good job, man. Another part of me wants to give it to Booker T, but I expect good things out of Booker T. RVD surprised me, so we're going to give RVD some encouragement. So Taker was happy with the speech. Giant scene, please. And so did RVD. Should have told fucking all 4 men in the main event. I expected way better out of you guys. So here we go. Let's check some things out before we, move on, I guess, to end off the episode. Got fantastic reviews, so you can't complain. It was still a good show, just definitely wasn't what I expected it to be. Apparently, Negro Cass is going to be out of his way of New Japan. Fortunately for him. I believe he started off there, though. Yeah, so they're getting rid of him because they don't want him anymore. Anything else? Oh, Heat. There you go. Some Fuji. Oh, yeah, Raven was injured. We'll check that in a second. Doesn't seem like it was too bad because he left the ring under his own power, so it seems like we're good. Too Cold Scorpio joined New Japan, so they finally got somebody. It was written too. He was written, so it's good. Is he pretty popular in Japan? Is that why? Did New Japan be like, yeah, we need to get Too Cold. He's got that 51. Good for you, Too Cold Scorpio. Apparently, XPW is trying to get Juventud Guerrero. Oh, no, they already have him. They're trying to get him to stay. My bad. What is this? Oh, Pitbull. Pitbull looks freaking ferocious. 34? Might have to, the shortlist you, man. You look freaking deadly. Look at that. Kamala. That's not Kamala. Who the hell are you? Giant Kamala. Gimmick infringement. Ah, look at that. New Jack getting kicked out. Couldn't happen to a better person. No one showed these videos to New Jack, please. So New Jack going to be leaving XPW. Hopefully he doesn't, kill anybody on his way out. That's a beautiful picture of Killswitch. Oh, but this is why we're getting so many. I was like, why are we getting so much news? It's because it's October now, duh. A lot of people getting their contracts. I was like, Julie and Melissa. Oh, APW. Bye-bye, Dudley. Bison. Super Dragon. There's a lot of... Okay, that was the last one I was going to say. There's a lot of them. I might just stop. Alright, here we go. So, Brian Clark's contract is up for renewal. Whatever. So is Sly Scraper. I'm going to have to check out Sylvester Terkay, which is finally who it is. So, we're going to go ahead and click this one. I'm going to keep the developmental ones because I legit want to look at them. Legit want to see like if they're worth keeping around pretty much. K-Quick, I might keep around. Billy Silverman, I'm probably going to keep around. Crash Holly has returned from rehab. Good for him. Brian Adams, don't care. You can leave too. Raven was injured. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. See if it's anything bad. Nope. Working through. We're not going to have to worry too much about it. Not too angry then. Heat got that 2.94. Scott Steiner says Hugh Morris doesn't connect with the fans. We should write him off. The Giant says Bubba Ray Dudley doesn't connect with the fans. He has little upside. DDP says Sandman just doesn't get it. He can probably be cut loose. Our drug test fees. Unforgiven got a 1.63. There you go. Let's delete. And we're going to check. Oh, wait. We can delete Crash Holly returning too. I'm glad he's back, but, Ooh. So we got our graduates for Maven and Nydia from Tough Enough. Let's go ahead and offer them developmental contracts. Do I have to pay them that much? Because that seems a bit much. Give you guys 3 years. Sent to OVW. OVW. Let's go ahead and make that offer. What? Are you kidding me? Well, first off, you ain't getting a bonus. I don't know why I offered you a bonus. I'll give you a 1,300 contract. Make offer. 1,700 for a written deal? Really? Is he shitting me? 1,500. There's your offer. Happy? Fuck you, dude. You really think you're worth $1,700? Come on, Maven. Here. Cunt. It's a strong word, but it's worth it for you. Also send Nydia to OVW because, well, that's the only women's division we really have. No bonus, though. What would you get a bonus for? Here. What? As small as WWF? Alright, fine. You better, oh, decline the offer then. See you later, Nydia. Sorry. Yep. Fuck off. If you ain't gonna take a developmental deal, I ain't worrying about it. Think you're worth something to me. Still upset about that. Either way, nerds and geeks, we did get an increase in money. Not a whole bunch, but still. So those contracts are starting to come up to us, but we are going to be letting some people go here. Either way, my name's been OMGWTF, LOL TWBRB. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you guys for Monday Night Raw as we start building up to our next pay-per-view, No Mercy. So until then, have a great day, guys.